My guests today are Shri and Kira, who remain at the forefront of the higher consciousness movement after 18 solid years due to the wisdom, clarity, and accuracy of the information they share. With 5 best-selling books, hundreds of published articles, and top-rated radio show interviews, they present extraordinary insights about our human origins and divine destinations. Newsweek magazine stated that Shri and Kira are offering reassurance and uplifting the consciousness of the world. They exemplify the yoga of self-ascension. Welcome to my show.
Oh, thank you. We are honored to be here.
I am looking forward to this. We were talking a little bit in the pre-call about yoga itself, and I obviously can't wait to talk about that. But you have so many different aspects of what self-ascension means. But before we get to that, I would like to know your origin story. How did you become these experts?
Well, thanks for asking, Shri. Why don't you take that one off?
You know, I think our path began like with so many, when those perennial questions are asked: why am I here? Who am I really? What's my mission? I mean, good heavens! And,
Yes.
and where's my soulmate?
Right.
Things,
Yeah. Where's the rest of the package? You know.
and so that was some years ago, and that yearning. To know, the yearning to look beyond the veil, the yearning to find the true soul partner for myself, it caused me to study, to practice various disciplines, and to gradually expand. I didn't realize at the time I was actually ascending into a greater state of consciousness. But during the course of that, I felt called to find my other half, and I did.
That's beautiful.
Well, and you know, along the way, I will share that I was one of those. You know, it's kind of a mixed blessing. I was born wide awake, and as a young child, I remember my mother's biggest admonishment was, "Don't tell my dinner guests what their dead grandparents are saying."
Oh, goodness.
Cry. And so, you know, I was this little toddler. I thought everybody saw this. I thought this was normal, right? And but through the years, I had chosen a family that really did not appreciate what was going on in me. So I did the classic thing: really shut down, and then became very hyper successful in the business world. I made my first million at 27 years old. I was on and on, type A plus, going on and on. And the universe said, hey, this is not who you are. And at 29 years old, I died of cancer. It was Christmas Eve day. I got off an airplane. I was heading home. And the next thing I remember is waking up in a hospital with a doctor telling me that not only did I have cancer, there was no way I was going to survive. I went in for emergency surgery and clinically died. I was clinically dead for 4 minutes, very well documented. My body reanimated as they were writing a death certificate. And that really called everything else into focus for me. But unlike some others who immediately come out and go, yeah, here I go, I'm just so freaking stubborn. And I, you know, was just like, no, it took me 10 more years to really, and where everything in my life went upside down because I was denying who I was. I was trying to keep the old patterns in place when who I really was had activated. And it was when my beloved Sri Ramka and I came together, and he's right. He found me, spiritualsingles.com. We actually met online.
Did you? Oh, I thought you were kidding.
I kid you not. In 2002, we met online, and that activated who we are now. And we have for 18 years been blessed to steadily hold the voice of naked authenticity through demonstrating what it is like to live the yoga of self-ascension and the blessings it can heap upon you.
And you know, one of the things that came forward for me, I gave you the quick version there, but I spent a number of years as a practicing psychotherapist.
That's what I do.
He's brilliant.
What I realized is most people were seeking professional help because they wanted to cope better. They wanted a strategy so they didn't have as much anxiety and fear. And the more I worked with people, the more I realized there's a deeper level of truth that underpins the human condition, and that is a spiritual level that once we begin to tap into that, we find a source of joy. We find a source of you're never alone. And so when Kira and I got together, something happened in our shared energy field that we discovered that we had a shared mission, that we had work to do as a couple, as a team.
And it blew our minds. You know, as a psychotherapist, he was looking for a DMSO diagnosis.
Well, she began to bring in
because
the angels.
all this stuff started happening. And I've always said I'm the idiot savant of all of this. I had no idea what was going on.
But you know, what I really love about your story is you look at the spectrum of where you were. So Shri, you were the person who was you were, there's a part of you that you understood, but you hadn't really fleshed it out yet. And then the other part, of course, Kira, when you were, like you said, when you were born, you were on the other side of the spectrum. And I think so many people right now can really connect with you because we're all in that spot. So a lot of times people are just like, I don't want to be here anymore. What's wrong with me? Why can't I seem to get ahead? And I think that's one side of the spectrum. And then the other side of the spectrum is, I know there's so much for me and I want to do this, but then unfortunately life happens. And with that, we can get so close to moving forward or searching for something. But I think when life circumstances do happen, it can discourage us. What are some ways in which you really help people recognize what that discouragement looks like and how to transcend above that?
Well, what a great question. Thank you so much for asking. I really appreciate that. And one of the first things that Shri and I always share with others is that you have to take responsibility for you.
Yes.
You know, that is step one in awakening is, you know, I always share with people, Sri Ramka, here comes the big reveal, right? He's my fifth husband. And the reason I'm sharing that is because it was after my fourth husband that I really looked in the mirror and was like, you know what? The only thing I have in common with all the drama in my life is right here. It's me. Right?
That's true. It's so true. When we all have that awareness, like, oh, darn it, what do I do now?
Right? But then here's the gift. Archangel Zadkiel, who was really kind of like our gatekeeper, and this is all in our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, if you want the whole story.
Yeah.
But Archangel Zadkiel was so brilliant and gave us what's known as the Mantra of Self-Ascension. It's 4 simple lines, non-dogmatic.
Yeah.
I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me. And if you just say that over and over and over again, even if you're angry, right? I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me, right? But it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. If you just keep saying it, you will discover the essence within and it will override the ego, because at the end of the day, everything you're sharing right now is about fear and an ego.
And one of the biggest problems in society, there's a couple of orientations. One of them is when we stop trying to fit in, we start finding happiness.
Yes.
Okay, that's why.
No, that's a powerful revelation, but we often don't remember
it is.
that and
and
practice
sometimes
that.
people need a little coaching. They need some steps. You know, we've developed programs that help people through this. The other realization is I'm not a victim, because so many people out there are seeking to blame or feeling overtrodden. And so the whole victim consciousness, when we move into that wounded child kind of aspect, we attract an abuser or we attract a rescuer that says, there, you'll never grow up.
It's always together. It's a triangle.
Things can either be a stumbling block or a stepping stone based off of the self-awareness we have and the understanding to say that I can, whatever is in front of me, as painful as it is, I now have a self-responsibility to say, well, now what do I do? I wanted to go back to the mantra that you talked about, which I think is fantastic. From a psychological approach, when we really think of that, the core beliefs that we have within us, that we're trained and we're taught as kids, and as we think them over and over again, I'm not worthy, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, etc. When we go in that loop and we find ourselves continually doing that, from a psychological approach, that mantra that was given to you, what you're doing is you're reprogramming what you truly believe about yourself. So it doesn't matter how you feel in the moment. The more you say it, it does create that reprogramming of thoughts and of self, which then does allow you to become much more open and have that self-introspection for more of an experiential experience.
Yeah. You know, one of the things we share with people every time we talk is the gateway to finding peace can begin as simply as bring a hand to your heart.
Just send reassurance to your body.
Take a deep breath, and with your hand on your heart, you say, I am here.
I am here. Yes.
We are invoking something sacred at that moment. The I am presence. I am here. I am ready. I am open.
Guide me.
Guide me. And it opens our inner wisdom to come online and be part of the journey.
Exactly. And it's so easy and it doesn't cost a thing. All it demands is what you're saying, James, which is just so perfect, which is that moment of, you know what, let me just take a breath here and call in the truth of who I am. Because at the end of the day, mastery is your birthright. You came in with it. You know, the things you were talking about earlier, we call those life scripts. And they're in our Navigating the Inner Matrix program. I don't deserve, I am inherently flawed, you know, all of those things. And the blessing of the pyramid of spiritual awakening is that we're born into it. And we're born into it as a gift. to rise through, to discover, to get on the other side and say, thank you, to get into that moment. You know, miracles, the law of instantaneous manifestation, which is transcendent of the law of attraction. In the law of instantaneous manifestation, it comes from the foundation of sincerity, love, and presence. When you can carry sincerity, love, and presence, then you're in the law of instantaneous manifestation, able to take that compassion, wrap it around yourself, lift above the you know what, and see the truth. And it's a beautiful way to live.
From a neuroscience standpoint as well, to piggyback off of that, when you do come from those elements in that place, it creates a sense of dopamine, it creates a sense of serotonin. And so with that, you are able to create this transcendence of, I may not understand something, but my body is responding in a way that gives me that insight, that gives me that opening, that gives me the understanding to be able to say, once again, I don't know what to do, but I feel something different. So now let me use that feeling of that, the chemical response we get from that. And then that does allow for another neural pathway to open up to give us the response that we need to find the answer that we seek.
I'm clapping.
And kind of the spiritual emotional level. The result of this shift in brain chemistry is we learn to trust ourselves more.
Exactly.
To just trust the essence of, I can get through this. I'm okay. And gosh, we all need that.
And, you know, and even coming back from I keep going, you're doing the spiritual, I'm doing more of that, the neurochemical, the science part of it. But even come from the place of, I trust myself. We all go back to that gut instinct. And that gut instinct is part of what we have, what's called the third brain. So we have our conscious mind, our heart brain, and then our stomach brain, which is the enteric brain. And that is where the gut comes from. That's that part of us that always says no, or something's off. But so many times we don't listen to that. Like, you can find that maybe business dealings you have, or someone you're dating, you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right, but we get caught up in, oh, but this person's whatever. But I love going back to what you're saying, as far as when we have that awareness of trusting ourselves, the more you can really tap into that enteric brain, or that third brain that in your gut region, gives you the insight and the foresight to say, I've been here before, but I didn't trust my gut before. So let me really feel, what does that feel like within me? And then once I have that awareness, that then creates kind of the paradigm, or the parameters rather. I'm saying I'm slightly getting off because I'm not trusting myself. So let me get back. And that's really how you can find that from a fundamental standpoint when it comes to really understanding the steps you need to go, or take rather, to be able to trust yourself.
Well, you know, I'm loving that, because I'm hearing the ascended realms. One of the beautiful messages that always comes in is that your body is the ultimate truth detector.
Yes. I totally agree with you 100%. Yeah.
we can lie to ourselves, right, all the time, but your body will be like, guess what? There's something going on here in that third chakra, that little brain, or there's something going on here. And this is why, and I can tell as we're gazing at you as well, I'm on the treadmill at least an hour every day, you know, at least an hour every day, moving the body, loving the body, you know, staying in shape, you know, reverse aging, you know, that's one of the gifts, is that we are demonstrating that, as are you as well, that when we say yes to the blessing of having a body. And I learned during my near-death experience, what I know is a fact is that we are eternal. I know it is a fact you cannot mess this life up. I know it is a fact that everything you are doing will bring you to the next step. And it is a fact that you are a master, and that's why you're here right now.
I love that. Perfect. I want to hear more about the different programs you have. So we have about 6 more minutes, but I want to hear the different programs you have, all that you're offering, because I know so many people listening right now, like, I want to connect with these two, and I want to understand the part of self-ascension.
Well, thank you for asking. And I would say it all begins at SriandKira.com, just SRIAND, Kira, KIRA.com.
You know, one of the things that I just wanted to underscore is life can be overwhelming at times, and people get overstimulated. Thus, they don't have their full resources online to respond from an empowered, effective standpoint. So there are many spiritual practices at SriandKira.com that help cut through the BS, that immediately bring a person into center. Because what we've learned, you don't have to have a long, painful meditation. What we need is a focused moment of sincerity. Bring the energy through and go, okay, I'm here. Let's go.
Right.
And to recenter with a direct connection with your essence. So SriandKira.com, there are many spiritual practices. Also, we've been blessed over the years. We are guided through our our archangelic guides to keep bringing forward trainings and materials that will help people bring more joy into their life.
You know, we're very inclusive, and so there is something for everyone. And you know, wherever your curiosity takes you, check out the practices, as Shri mentioned. They're all out there. Check out the Art of Ascended Living, and if you really want to learn more, join us on Monday nights. We do a Monday night. Every Monday, you can drop in at any time. Starting soon, we're going to be doing one series, but it's just called #MondayMagic. It's a 100% donation, and if you don't want to donate, just register and show up anyway. But all of our donations also support our Indigenous outreach programs. Shri and I are feeding a lot of people, giving a lot of people homes, and helping a lot of people have a place to sleep. And we also operate a free clinic here for the Indigenous, and so that's where all of our proceeds go, is to that.
I didn't even ask you, from where are you calling in today?
Ecuador.
We live in Ecuador. That. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes outside. Go to tosabluemountain.com and check out what we do here.
I would love to do that. I had no idea. For some reason, I was thinking you were local here in the States with me. That's beautiful. That's yours.
No, we're down here in Ecuador, about 45 minutes outside of Cuenca. It is a stunning day in the Andes Mountains. We live literally in the Andes. We have caves here. And
oh my goodness. It's beautiful. And I love just because you're literally taking yourself back to how we evolved. You're removing yourself from all of the noise, the little noise of the world, and really allowing yourself to just become centered and become much more close to.
We just keep saying yes.
Yeah, there's
yes.
And going back to that, when you do say yes, I found for me when it comes to my brand, I say this with humility, every opportunity that I've had, I've never sought after it, because what I feel is the more you have your self-responsibility and responsibility to the gifts that you have or been given, the more you practice that, the more you really hone your craft, all of a sudden those opportunities open up. And there's nothing worse than having an opportunity open up when you're not ready for it because you haven't taken that time to be able to prepare yourself for it. So I love hearing your methodology, everything you teach. It's that awareness, that openness, that ability to say, this is who I am. There's something greater than myself. I want to connect with that entity that's greater than me. Teach me, guide me. I'm here and I'm present. I think it's such a beautiful way. And it's so practical because everyone listening, whatever your religion is, your spirituality, whatever that may be, when you do have that openness, you will find that which you seek.
Oh, beautifully said. I bow before your mastery. So true.
I appreciate that so much.
Welcome.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you on my show today. Please give us one more time all of the links where you'd like for our people, our viewers and listeners to check out your sites.
Well, thank you for asking. 2 of them, shriandkira.com, and go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, official Shri and Kira. Massive amounts of things there, tons of information. We're out there all the time.
We're there every week, and a beautiful community forms in the chat, and it's nourishing for everyone.
And if you're looking for something to do on Sundays, our Sunday service is live at YouTube, noon to 2 every Sunday, and the chat is outrageous. Hundreds of people, community, and coming together. And so, it's a lot of fun.
And your Monday chats as well. Is that on YouTube too?
No, the Monday Magic you have to register for. It's done in a big Zoom like this.
Perfect. Okay.
But at shriandkira.com, you can learn about it. And if you're checking in on our Sunday services, you'll learn about it there as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for being a guest on my show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Much love.
my angel.
Thank you.
Namaste.